Hi, this is Ali Arango for Game Visuals, and what you're going to learn today is how to do a beat 'em up combo in Gdevelop. So what you're going to learn is you're going to learn how to bring in this background. You're going to learn how to bring in sprites for your player character as well as for your enemy character. You're going to learn how to set up your character to be able to move up and down. You're going to learn how to set up variables to show as numbers, kind of like what you can see right here, as well as over your enemy. You're going to learn how to, when you punch your enemy, them to have random poses and then go back to the resting pose. Then you're going to learn how to have your character go through punch combinations. As I work through this tutorial, I tried to explain not only what I'm doing, but why I'm doing. And I hope that you'll learn a lot from this tutorial, and I hope you'll enjoy the tutorial. Thanks for watching. Hi, this is Ali Arango of Game Visuals. Today I want to show you how to do a beat 'em up combo in Gdevelop. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to start this off from scratch, which is how I like to do Gdevelop combo tutorials. So what we're going to do is select create a new project. Once you select create a new project, you see all these different options here. Typically the first thing you want to do is choose a folder. So you want to select somewhere where you know your game is going to be saved at. So I'll just make this folder here. So I'll double click. I'll select there. I'll select folder. And then now I'll just select empty game. Okay, so here we are in Gdevelop. So to start things off in Gdevelop, the first thing you want to do is make a new scene. So we'll go to this plus button here, select that, and then a new scene is made. By default, it's called new scene. We're going to left click on these three buttons here, select rename. We're going to name this beat 'em up combo, then press enter. Okay, once we do that, we'll select on that scene, and then we have the rest of Gdevelop open up to us. Okay, as we get ready to get into this tutorial, I want to give credit to where credit is due. I actually learned how to do this from a YouTuber named Sparkman. So if you want to learn more about this, I recommend you go check out Sparkman's YouTube channel. He made it actually on one of his other channels. However, I'm assuming if you go to Sparkman's channel, you'll be able to go from there to his other channel. I cannot think of the name, but I did learn this technique from Sparkman, so I'm going to give you my version of what I learned from him. Okay, so we're going to need to bring in a bunch of objects. So we're going to go to the right, select the plus button. We're going to go to a sprite. Typically, you'll find yourself doing this quite often in Gdevelop. Like you'll go to the right, make a new sprite. We're going to need a player sprite. So we're going to name this player. For now, we're just going to select apply. We'll come back and put the graphics in later. We need a enemy sprite. So we're going to name this enemy. We'll select apply and come back to that later. Okay, we're going to need an environment. We'll select plus. We're just going to keep using this sprite. So we're going to name this environment. Then we'll select apply. We'll set that up later as well. We're also going to need a hitbox graphic. So we'll select the plus again, go to the sprite again, and then we'll name this hitbox and then select apply for that as well. Okay, we're going to start bringing in graphics. So I'm going to double click on this player here. And what I'm going to do is go to this blue button to the right, select that. Typically this first animation, which is the 0 animation, is the idle animation. So I'll just name this idle. I'm going to select add. You want to go to where you have the store. These frames that I'm using, I'll put a link to these on the website. Also put one in the description so you can get to these. So I'll select idle here. I'm going to hold Control, press A, and then I'll select OK. Then this box right here is basically saying, do I want to move the frames to the main game folder? Yes, I do. When you're doing with an idle animation, you want this to loop. You can preview the animation by selecting here. If you roll your mouse, you'll zoom up and down. You can use these buttons here to zoom in and out. This will restore your original size. You can also hold Control and zoom in and out. This is fine how it is. So I'll select OK. I'm going to click to the right. I'm going to add another animation. This is going to be our walk animation. So I'll just name that walk. Pretty much the same thing. Find the folders, hold Control, press A, bring in those folders, select OK. We actually do want this to loop, so we'll select that there. And pretty much I'm just going to go through. I'm going to do this in real time so you can see what's going on. This is going to be punch 1. We'll go to those frames. Select that punch 1. We don't want this to loop, so we'll select punch 2. Select add. Again, we don't want this to loop. So this is going to be punch 3. Add. Control A. We don't want that to loop either. So now this is going to be kick. My daughter nicely animated these kick frames for me. So we press Control A, select open, bring these in. So now we have all of our frames brought in. So for now, we're going to select apply. Okay, so now we're going to do pretty much the same thing with the enemy characters. So we're going to select enemy. We'll select animation to the right. This is going to be E idle, short for enemy idle. We'll select add. We'll go to the folder that has those frames. Oop. There we go. So we'll select Control A, open, bring these into the main folder. We'll select loop. So we're going to add another animation, and this is these animations are going to be animations of the enemy taking a hit. So I call this ETAH1. So we'll go find that. Trying to see, I'm not sure if these are transparent or not. For now, we'll hold Control, press A. We'll bring those in. We'll select another animation. E stands for taking a hit, that ta. Second. find that. Control A. So one more. It's E. Taking a hit 3. Go find that. Okay, so now we'll apply this as well. Okay, we want to bring our environment in now, so we'll double click that. Go to Edit Animation. We're just going to leave this. We'll leave it as it is. We'll go to Add. Environment. Select Open. We'll apply that. We'll zoom back. We'll left click and drag the environment over here. I'm going to go to this corner, hold Shift, shrink this down. Okay, I made 2 environmental pictures, so we'll use that. So we'll make another sprite for the environment. So we'll select Add an Animation, Add. We'll go and find that environment. We'll select OK. OK. Apply. We'll drag that onto the screen. We'll zoom back. Mainly so we can match this up. So I'm just matching the top of this up with that. I'm going to hold Shift. Just getting this down to about the size that it is over on the other side. I don't even notice it was overlapping like that. Okay, that is interesting. Just when I made this up, I'm trying to think how I ended up having this come out like this, but that's fine. Okay, we are gonna need something else. We're gonna need something to walk on. So let's make up this hitbox. We're gonna select this. We're gonna select Add an Animation. For what we're gonna do here is we're gonna select Add. Wait a second. Okay, this is what we want. We want Edit with Pixel. And I'm just gonna select like a orange color. Pixel is a built-in image editor inside of Unity. It's actually very nice. I'm gonna select here. Just fill that with like orange. And then I'm going to go and duplicate this. Make about 5 frames. And then I'm going to select save. And then I'm going to select apply. And now we have a hitbox graphic right there. Okay, these graphics here are basically background graphics. I'm going to left click on this one. Notice when I left click on this properties panel opens up. This Z order here is important. The lower this number is, the further the graphics are in the background. So when we left click on this, we can make this be 1 as well. The player and enemy characters, we're going to want to have a higher Z order than these background graphics. Okay, so while we have the Z order here set, what we can do is we can go to this part of the menu where we see lock position, angle, and editor. So we'll put a check mark next to there. We'll select this one, put a check mark next to here as well. Be aware that when you put a check mark next to there, like if I try to select this, I can't select it now. So if you want to reselect this, what you need to do is go to your upper right to where you see the this button that says open a list of instances. Then when I double click here, now I can select, and then this would allow me to unlock, either one of these sprites that we're working with here. For now, though, they're fine being locked. Okay, we do need something else, and what that is we need a ground for our characters to stand on. So what I'm going to do is select this plus button here. I'm going to go to sprite. I'm going to name this ground. I'm going to select edit animation. I'm going to go to edit with Piskel. This is going to be something that we're going to make basically be invisible, so I tend to use green for that. So this is a paint bucket I'm selecting here, and I'm just going to fill this. I'm going to name this ground. You don't have to name this picture. Just want you to know you don't have to do this for any type of coding reason. I'm just choosing to do this. So then I'm going to select save. And then what I'm going to do here is since we're here, I'm going to add a behavior to this. And we're going to add behaviors. Well, we're going to add a behavior to our player character. And what a behavior does is a behavior is kind of like a bundle of coding. So the behavior I'm going to add to this is going to give this sprite the ability to not allow objects to fall through it. Characters will also be able to jump on it. So we're going to select add a new behavior, and then we're going to, when we click that, we have these list of options here. And they're pretty self-explanatory. We want to go to the platform behavior, so we'll select this. We'll leave this default, then we'll select apply. Okay, the reason why I have this so zoomed out is easy to work with for now. I'm thinking about having a player character walk here, drop down there, and probably have an enemy character be around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click on ground. I'm going to left click and drag this out. And I know that's very small. I'm going to go to this square and I'm going to drag this out here and make this smaller. So I want the player character to walk on top of here. I think I want the player character to fall down slightly here. So I'm going to hold control, left click and drag. And what that does is that makes a duplicate. Yeah, I think I'll leave that like that. So these are both two pieces of the same object, so they both have platform behavior on them. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to select our player character, drag the player character out. We'll zoom in. You can see the player character is huge. So we'll select the player character, go to this corner, hold shift. This will constrain the view. That size looks fairly decent.